Okay, here we are, 2,000 years nearly since the death of the apostles. We've got the Bible translated from Latin to English. And we in the Greco-Roman culture do not understand Hebraic thought. We give an example. To the Hebrews, the past was in front of them and the future behind them. But we in Greco-Roman culture are reverse mode. The future's in front of us and the past is behind us. The Hebrews were a very oriented group who looked after each other. We in the Greco-Roman world don't do that. Now, backdrop to the Bible. We're looking now at John chapter 1 and Hebrews chapter 1. Very controversial verses. Why did John write John 1? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. When I was 8 years of age, I used to wander on the school playground musing these verses. I wasn't part of any religion. Why was I doing that? I don't know. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, the Word was God. But having studied 3 years now, the backdrop, I realised what's going on here in John 1. You see, John was facing what's called Gnostics, Gnostics, and particularly one guy called Cerinthus, his arch enemy, was promoting this idea that a demiurge, a separate creator, made the earth. Hence, JW translation, the word was a god. They are Gnostics, by the way. And John was saying, no, it wasn't a separate creator. The Logos, Dabar in Hebrew, was God. Right? Not pre-existent, separate being, but the Logos, the expression of God, was in front of the Father, plus, Isaiah 55:11 says, as my word goes forth, it will produce results. And we cannot comprehend John chapter 1 unless we're in Hebraic mindset. Okay, it's transposed into Greek, but it's written in Hebraic mindset. John was a Jew in prison in Patmos. After receiving revelation, he wrote his gospel, apparently. Now, Hebrews chapter 1. Difficult chapter. But you've got to take Hebrews 1 and Hebrews 2 together. Whoever wrote that. Some say Paul, we don't know. Why did the writer write that? Because the Jews were getting into angel worship. William Barclay, the great Greek scholar who died a few years ago, he was in Scotland in the UK, brought out the Jews were into angel worship. Right? That's why the writer of Hebrews 1 said, to which one of the angels did God ever say, you're my son? And Hebrews 2 is not to angels. He's given authority over the inhabited earth to come, the akomonai in Greek, the holam haba in Hebrew. It's not to angels, but to a man who is now raised to a position higher than angels, who was predestined through his obedience to become heir of all things. Hebrews chapter 1 verse 1, is it, or 1 over 2? We have to realize the backdrop to why these chapters were written. And get away from Greco-Roman translations that give us this demonic inspiration or spewing that God came down and took on flesh, or an angel Michael came and took flesh. That is exactly what John was counteracting in his gospel, John chapter 1, and the writer of Hebrews chapter 1 and 2. That a man defeated the powers in the spirit realm, Ephesians 6. Unless we get this backdrop in our mind, We will never ever comprehend those particular important chapters. And Satan, being very mastermind masquerader, has made sure that the majority of so-called Christendom has been deluded into the trap. Get into the mind of the apostles. The apostolic faith. The Reformation in the UK, for example, was not really a restitution of apostolic worship. It was against the Catholic Church. Excuse my pun. They carried forward demonic teachings like Trinity, etc. In fact, the KJV, the original 1611 version of the KJV version, did you know this, had holy days dedicated to Mary. Not many people know that. Get into the mind of the apostles, who worshipped the Father not in buildings but in private homes. Private homes. The devil has created traps, making you believe if you go to a building you can actually worship the Father. The Messiah said, when you pray, don't be like the hypocrites who pray in the broadways. Go into your interior room, your bedroom, and pray in secret. Then your Father, who looks on in secret, will hear you. Shalom.